All right, we are about a half hour away from starting to give things away at Plan B in Southington on Queen Street. It's the Rob Dibble Show at Ben Darnell live. And we'll be here till 6:30 when the Yankees pregame starts against the Blue Jays, but it's Thursday night football. But let's talk some college football because Saturday is going to be unbelievable as far as some of these games. Probably the most hyped game because of what's happened in the first 3 weeks in week 4 of college football now will be Colorado versus Oregon. And obviously everything is centered around Deion Sanders, his kids, Colorado, but we forget that Oregon's got a hell of a football team.
Yeah, and they score a bunch of points. I mean, they dropped, 91 on Portland State just recently, or was it 71 that they scored? I don't know. They run the score up, and it's not because they're a bunch of jerks. It's basically because of design. They got Bo Nix, if you remember him from the the Alabama area, Auburn last year. You know, this kid's real deal. He has got so many weapons, to go to. They've got a great running game on top of spreading the ball all over the place.
Bucky Irving. Anybody named Bucky that you're handing the ball off to, I figure that guy's going to smash some heads.
And his numbers are great, but I don't think he has many carries already on the year.
27.
They've shut him down in a lot of these games because they don't need him, really.
Jordan James already has 5 touchdowns.
I know.
In the first 3 weeks.
This offense is potent. And without Travis Hunter for the Colorado Buffaloes, I find it really hard to see how they're going to slow down Oregon. They've got to do something different than what they were doing against Colorado State. I thought CSU had a great game plan for them offensively as they noticed that Deion's bunch plays man. And you would think, you know, if you're going up against a Deion Sanders team, that he's going to challenge you on the outside with cornerbacks just like he did. He wants man-to-man coverage 0 if he could. But what that exposed was they are very vulnerable to underneath routes. And if you've got 5 receivers and you've got guys that are catching touchdowns all over the place, there's a lot to worry about. I would not be surprised if Deion switches his defense up against this team and plays a lot more zone than what he has done in the first 3 weeks. I do think their offense can score against Oregon. Can they keep up? The over and under, 71.
Well,
it's a lot.
Listen, you know, Colorado State, the score was 43-35. You know, in the first 3 games, Colorado scored 45, 36, and 43. They're scoring, but they're giving up 42, 35. Nebraska, they did shut them down at 14. Deion's even said my defense needs to be cleaned up. Yeah, they need. You know, he said that even after the Nebraska game, they needed to clean some things up. And so I think that's the biggest thing here is you got to keep Oregon off the field. I would think that they try to run the ball a lot more than they have in the first 3 weeks if you're Colorado.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of what they've got there in the backfield as well. That Leonard kid who transferred over there has got speed for days. That's the one thing I would say about this Colorado bunch of playmakers. Dylan Edwards is the name. I'm sorry, I called him Leonard. Anyway,
yeah, Edwards.
That kid is so fast. I'm a big Xavier Weaver fan as well. He's so fast. Joe Hort Jr.'s speed demon. These guys seem undersized. Like, even Shedeur Sanders seems undersized for me.
Shiloh's even smaller than his brother.
But these guys are playmakers, and they beat you with their speed. Like, they play at a high pace every single snap, whether it's offense or defense. Sometimes it gets them out of position, but sometimes it gets the other team out of position. Most of the time, it gets the other team out of position as well. I think that they should spread the ball around, try to keep up. I'm with you as well. If you can win the time of possession battle against Oregon, you might be able to keep this thing close.
And it's going to be crazy there. Their stadium is one of the loudest in the country at their home games. But how about the schedule for Colorado? I mean, everybody's expecting them to go close to undefeated. After Oregon, they have USC, which is a top 5 team.
Plus,
Arizona.
That game moved to noon, so Colorado time. That'll be a 10 a.m. kickoff for everyone.
Arizona State after that, then Stanford. But then how about these games to end your season? UCLA, Oregon State, Arizona, no slouch, Washington State, and Utah, all ranked teams. I mean, this has to be one of the toughest schedules in college football history.
I had the one anomaly that I can't get out of my head for the first month of college football is the Pac-12. They have 6 teams that are top 25. They're breaking up.
Yeah.
They're not good enough to hang out with SEC, Big 12, and the Big 10 next year. So it goes to show you that, like, winning football games is not the reason for these big-time conferences to get set up. Oregon State plays Washington State as well this week, and that, to me, that's a really great game with everything around it because those are the two that are left over. Those two are top 25 teams.
Yep.
They're no joke. So it's just funny to me that this conference has talent all over the place, NFL stars all over the place, great teams, great coaches. Yet they can't keep their conference together, and they couldn't come up with a TV deal in the last 10 years. And now those schools that you mentioned are all going to be playing somewhere else with some other schedule. But Deion's road,
it gets a lot tougher after Oregon.
It
ain't easy.
It's not easy, but that's going to be a great game, I think.
Here's the thing that I think is brilliant about what Deion's doing. Remember Bill Parcells? The one thing I always marveled at, and by the way, he was best friends with Lou Piniella, and Lou was great at this too, deflecting and getting you to think about what he's talking about, what he's doing. You're not looking behind the curtain. You're not looking at some of the weaknesses of the team. And that's the beauty of what Deion. So everybody's so caught up in what Deion Sanders is saying, what he's doing, the glasses, the hat, and stuff like that. That's all a shell game to these guys. That if you're looking at the left hand, you're not seeing what the right hand is bringing, and I just think Bill Parcells did that. He was amazing at keeping you focused on what he was doing, and you wouldn't be worried about what everybody else is doing. Bill Belichick's another master at that. He doesn't let any of his coaches talk. He doesn't like when the players say anything that's bulletin board material. And so if you even listen, and you talk about this with the press conferences of Colorado's kids after the game, they don't give you anything either.
Yep.
They're all tight-lipped. Don't give ammunition to your opponent.
So true. The one thing, too, I'll say about that is that it's not full of BS either. Deion is short and sweet with a lot of his answers, looks him right in the eye with the glasses on, and tells exactly the way it is, but in a way, too, like you're saying, that doesn't give him too much information. I love the post. I think it was media meeting Tuesday in Colorado where Deion – said the good things about Henry Blackburn, got all the fans off of Blackburn's back. But he was asked about filling in for Travis Hunter, and this is just my favorite thing of the week. He was asked, I think it was the Stoppmeyer kid, will Stoppmeyer take over for Travis Hunter on defense in his absence at corner? And Deion's like, no, it's going to be a committee. It's going to be everybody. We can't replace Travis with just one guy. Next question, follow-up. What's keeping Stoppmeyer from being the starting corner? Looked him dead in the eye and said, he is. And that's it. That's all he gave you. And some reporter's looking for some
said.
and he's like, no, that's it. He is. And so, know, if Stoppmeyer looks at that press conference, he'll know exactly, he's not BSing. It's on me if I want to take this spot. And it's, it's honest, but it's also a challenge. But it's not demeaning at all either. So I do think he is a master at talking to the media. He obviously has a lot of practice with that, but relating to his kids in a way where it's not BS and it's always motivating. Always motivating.
All right, let's kind of do a rapid fire thing. I'm going to throw some games at you because we don't have that much time.
What?
All right, Ohio State and Notre Dame. This is actually the 5th game of the season for Notre Dame. They're 4-0. Ohio State's 3-0. Who do you like?
I like watching this game with my hand plugging my nose and my eyes closed. I hate these two programs, but they're so awesome. Ohio State's been kicking butt and taking names, but Notre Dame looks like they have one of their best teams in the last couple of years. They've been blowing people out, man. And this is at Notre Dame, correct?
Yes, at Notre Dame.
Bend. This is a big football game. These teams don't get together that often. And you might see more of it in the near future. I'm taking the home team on this one. I like Notre Dame.
You like Notre Dame.
Yeah.
All right, so quickly, Iowa versus Penn State. We're going to Happy Valley, Beaver Stadium. I don't know why we have all these different names, but
it's a whiteout game. They're going to be super pumped up. I think this is the first top 25 game of the season. Iowa's really good. They score a lot more points than they have in the past in these first 3 games that they've won. But I'm just telling you, Penn State's top 10 for a reason. You might look at Michigan, Ohio State as the cream of the crop of the Big Ten, but Penn State's going to have something to say about it, and I think they win this by 2 touchdowns.
Oregon State Beavers versus Washington State Cougars.
Take the over. Take the over.
58.5 is the over.
I hope this game goes into 6 overtimes. I like both of these teams. I'm rooting for both these teams, but again, I'm leading home team on this one. I'll take Wazoo. I'll take Washington State.
All right, biggest test of the year for UConn, who's 0-3. Don't want to go to 0-4. Duke comes into Rentschler Field.
Is it Leonard Riley? Riley Leonard? What's this kid's name, the quarterback at Duke? He's really good, man. I've been watching them on film the last 2 nights, and I'm trying to find something to hang my hat on to talk about how UConn can get in there and actually disrupt things.
Riley Leonard,
Riley
6'4", 220.
He is an NFL player. Like, he has got NFL ability, not only with his arm, also with his legs, but especially with his brain. He could pick UConn apart. There are some banged-up people on UConn's defense. I already told you the starting quarterback's going to be out for the first half, Moo because of that targeting penalty against FIU. It's a 21.5-point spread. Listen, I believe in Coach Mora. I still do, big time. This guy is going to have these guys playing better football than they have in the past 3 games. I say take the points. I don't think that UConn's going to win, but I think that they're going to make it a ball game. This Coach Elko, too, on the other side of Duke. Duke could win the ACC this year. They already got the win over Clemson. They could win the ACC. So they're looking for bigger fish to fry than UConn, but this is still somewhat of a rivalry, I would think, for the basketball fan out there. And I keep on reminding people we have to bring it. I know it's going to be a little rainy, but we have the biggest recruit in town starting tomorrow.
More important than the football game.
Yes. We have to root for the football team hardcore, hardest than we've ever had.
What's this dude's name?
Cooper Flagg is in the house.
Cooper Flagg.
If Cooper Flagg is impressed with how we bring it football-wise, just fandom-wise.
Make signs for Cooper Flagg.
Maybe. That's a great idea. I may make signs for Cooper Flagg.
2 G's or 1 G?
2 G's.
2 G's.
2 G's. Double G's at the end.
He's a OGG.
Make a flag for Cooper Flagg.
There you go.
But if we can impress this kid enough to have him want to come to this university.
Let's show him a lot of love.
I think that's a win, even if we lose on the scoreboard on Saturday.
All right, we are live from Plan B in Southington, my old stomping grounds. Hell, it still is my stomping grounds here. My 2 brothers still live in this town, so the Dibbles are still here. We'll never leave. We'll do Dibbles and Bits next, and then Ben's going to start playing some games. Which Patriot? And you're going to get a chance to win a bunch of stuff. Sponsored by Bud Light, as always. We'll be right back on the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell after this.